Everybody, welcome to the
Refuge
Youth
Worship
Podcast. Y'all
Okay,
This
so
is our first episode, guys. Don't judge us.
Welcome to our
this
first,
is our first
ever
episode, and yeah, you can already tell we're amateurs at this.
Yes, absolutely.
Our future
just a few
videos will
church
be better.
kids.
Just a few church kids
That are
just
trying to
having
make it through this
a yap
evil
sesh.
world.
Okay,
If you know me
introductions.
personally, I'm the person.
Introductions. Hi, everybody. My name is Jude, and I'm 19.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and I'm 14.
I'm Nate, and I'm 16.
18.
I'm Nunu and I'm 17.
Wow.
We're
we
all
have
old.
ages.
We're expired.
My eyes are cracking every day.
Do you know how that makes me feel, Nate? I am the oldest out of all of us. Do you know how that makes me feel? That hurts my heart, man.
Dang.
That hurts my heart. I'm almost 20.
You're old.
I'm
She's
not.
the old one, anyways.
Well, you're the baby of the group, so you're the baby.
Okay.
Kind of grew up in the church, but I wasn't really that close to God. It was kind of more like this is where you go on Sundays, this is just routine type thing. And it didn't really hit until I was in my teens, and there was a lot of stuff that I was going through that I really had to actually rely on God to get me through those tough times. So that's really more how I got close to God and how I got actually into the stuff that I was believing.
Okay. So I have a lot of things I could talk about, but I'm just going to talk about one because this is only such a long episode. But I grew up with a Christian mom, but my dad is an atheist and still is. And, I've had some doubts, and now that I'm older, my mom has helped me a lot, and my friends, and they have, in church, my church is really great, and it's just helped me a lot in my walk with God, and yeah.
So
Short, but
my testimony is, when I was younger, I knew of God. My dad's a pastor. My mom's obviously a pastor's wife.
PKs.
Yeah, I'm a PK. And when I was younger, I knew of God, and I believed in Him, but I didn't really have that relationship with Him. I didn't read my Bible every day. I didn't do anything like that. I just knew of Him, and I just lived my life like how it was. Then there was one year I went to youth camp at Springville, and I remember specifically it was the Thursday night service. I don't remember what they were talking about, but I just knew it was there. And the pastor called us to the altar, and I went down, and that's when I gave my life to Christ. And that's just kind of how it went on.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yes.
So, I grew up in church my whole life, but one thing that actually brought me closer to God and made me realize, hey, you need to start, having a bond with God and walking in His faith. When I was 12, my mom kind of kidnapped me and took me away from my family. And I was alone. I didn't have anybody. So I kind of started realizing, hey, I still have God and I can talk to Him, and He will always be there with me when nobody else is. And so that kind of made me realize,
Yes, absolutely.
and that is true. You can always talk to God. He always listens. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the middle of a random Walmart.
And one thing I've noticed in our testimonies is that we all did grow up in church, and you can grow up in church. You can go to church every day, be there every time the doors open, but it is very important to build a relationship with God, not just call yourself a Christian for the sake of convenience, or this is part of my routine, so I guess it's what I am. It is very, very important to actually strive to have a relationship with God and a good prayer life, and to spend time with Him. Anybody got anything to add to that?
A lot of people just make it a routine and not a fun routine. They make it into where, I have to get up and I have to go to church. Oh, I have to get up and read my Bible. But they don't want to. They feel like they're obligated to. And if you don't actually want, I'm just going to say, if you feel like you're just doing it just because you feel like you have to, if you don't actually have no want there, then it's not the best. You need to actually have a relationship with God. You need to want to talk to Him and read your Bible and everything. So.
Yeah, I got something to add to that.
I didn't
So
know the exact
a
words
lot
to
of
say.
people, like y'all just said, they go through the motions. They don't actually have a relationship with them. Like a lot of people, they go to church, but you never know if they actually have a relation. Like you can sit through the service and do all the Christian things, and you'd still not have a relationship with them. And yeah. Got anything?
Some people, like, if you're like some people's parents, like, they grew up in church, so they make their kids go to church, and some kids are like, oh yeah, well my mom and dad makes me come to church, so I have to sit here, and they don't actually really have a relationship with God, or feel like they need to have a relationship with God.
Yes, that is something that you never want to happen. The Bible, you don't want to get into the mindset of the Bible is just a book and the church is just a room, or the church is just a building, because it is something that is kind of hard to, once you fall into that pit, it's really hard to dig yourself out of there, especially if you're not actively striving to have a relationship with God. I know I'm talking a lot, but
It's okay. We all just yap. It's
we
okay.
all, it's just
That's why we made the podcast.
good yap session between friends. But it can be hard to figure out where to start if you just let yourself slip into that mindset of this is just something I have to do. And especially what Nunu said about parents just making their kids go to church. If somebody is making you do something and you're not going willingly, then you're going to begin to associate that thing with negative emotions. You're going to not want to be there. If somebody's making you do something and it is against your will and you are absolutely not feeling being there at all, and somebody is making you go, then you're going to not want to be there and you're going to not enjoy it. And so that's just, it's one of those things that you kind of, again, you got to work on, and you got to build that relationship, and yeah.
But yeah, that is very true, because yeah.
Because yeah.
Because yeah.
Because yeah.
And it's
I'm
not,
just going to say I really agree.
yeah, and it's not easy being a Christian. Like, you go through things and you have bad friends or bad people in your ear telling you this or telling you to do that, but if you know you stand firm with Jesus, you know the right things to do, and you know to, always follow the road He's given you to follow. So yeah.
So, we have a few programs that we are passionate about that we would like to tell you about. So, I'm going to hand it over to Jude.
Alright, so Free International is one of them, and Free International is an organization that was founded in 2007 by Michael and Denise Bartel, which was to help combat against trafficking and help the victims that have been exploited by traffickers. They do many things such as training law enforcement and healthcare workers on how to recognize the signs of being a victim of trafficking, and partner with organizations that provide shelter and services for underage victims of trafficking, just to name a few. So you can visit freeinternational.org to learn more or to donate.
And I will have these links in the description of the video in case you want to click on them.
Another mission that we are very, very passionate about is Speed the Light, and Zoe's going to tell us a little bit more about that.
So Speed the Light, if you haven't heard of it, Speed the Light is a student-initiated volunteer charitable program that began in 1944. Speed the Light raises money for missionary equipment for missionaries around the world. Speed the Light helps to disciple students to live a life of generosity as they become personally responsible for the mission of God by helping. Missionaries make Jesus known throughout the whole entire world. And you can learn more or give, you can donate, to stl.ag.org, which again will be in the description of this video in case, you don't want to type it because you've been texting all day. Which is real.
That's so real. That's so real. Like, you gotta get on that TikTok,
Should I,
leave some
like,
comments
just-
under some.
We're being real
Should
here,
I like
okay?
say
For the ones of us who are involved in the music side of the live streams, who are some of your artists that inspire you and kind of just influence your style and how you do your music?
Goodbye, yesterday.
yeah.
Totally.
So
Brandon Lake.
yeah, Brandon Lake. So can I explain how I got into music
Yeah.
or something?
Yes.
I didn't listen to music a lot, or I didn't know of music much. I mean, I listened to it, but I don't know. I never
Never had a deep relationship
no,
with music.
that's not what I'm trying to say.
My
What am I trying to say?
You never had a connection with
I
music.
never had a connection with music, but a few years ago, when I just randomly decided to learn guitar, I was like, oh, that could be pretty cool. So I started taking lessons, and then I went really deep into it. I started writing a few songs. Never really finished them though. They're just kind of in my notes right now. But I started listening to a few artists, and I really liked it. And so when I started getting closer to God, I was like, I could really do something with this, you know? So yeah, that's kind of why I started the live.
So Zoe, same question for you. Who are some of your big inspirations, and how'd you get into music?
Okay, so I really like
Keep going.
Elevation Worship.
Yes.
Our theme song is literally Goodbye Yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
We
That's our anthem.
every Sunday, okay? Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Do the moves and everything.
But I got
It's
into
intense.
I got into music at a very young age. I was 2. Before I was even old enough to walk, let's just say 1. I was making up songs, just random babbling, and
All you hear is no actual
but
words.
Your mom was like, what is she doing?
But
Sorry.
yeah, I've always been really passionate about music since a very young age, and I don't really know how I got into music. I just loved it ever since I was little, and I just have a deep connection with music my whole entire life. So Nunu, it's your turn. Same question. How did you get into music, and what's your inspiration? I know, but how you're listening
Okay.
to music.
Music coordinator.
So, I'm really not into. Well, I'm into music, but
You just don't sing.
I don't have a favorite artist. But I do have favorite songs that touch my spirit and my soul that makes me just want to peel up out of my skin and cry every time.
Okay.
What?
That might be a
Sorry.
little weird for the
She's our
podcast.
music coordinator,
That
guys.
might
She's
be
got
a
to
little
listen
weird.
to the music and pass it to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, she.
Gotta make sure they're in tune and on key.
Yeah,
Yes. Which Nate struggles with that.
It's in line.
a lot.
A
That's-
lot. Okay, that was so. Once again, like Zoe, I got into music when I was really little. My parents used to say that I was singing before I was talking.
I felt that one.
So, I have rock and roll, rock music. My dad started me on rock music since I was very, very little. And so that's a lot of what I grew up listening to. But my mom, I did not get my music taste from my mom. I would like to make that disclaimer. She liked Southern gospel music. And so somehow the worlds kind of combined in my brain, and I started, like I said, my father was a pastor, so I started singing in church, and I think the first time that I ever did a solo by myself, I was 6 years old, in front of the whole congregation,
Wow.
up there singing Amazing Grace, I think it was. So I've been doing this for a while, but some of my inspiration, some of the artists that I take a lot of inspiration from, because I songwrite as well, is Katie Nicole and Plum. Plum absolutely is top tier.
Who's
And-
Plum?
Skill. What?
Okay. So
I
I
know.
forgot to mention I also songwrite. Hey. Anyways,
Yes.
Back to you.
So, yeah, and the instrument that I play in our live streams is a baritone ukulele, and I started playing the ukulele when I was probably 13 is when I actually started.
Because Jude is an old pro.
Thank you for that addition. You know.
Sorry.
We can't edit everything out, guys.
So
I'd like to add, I did start writing country music way before I did Christian music.
trying to get Zoe to learn regular ukulele. Like I said, I started actually trying to learn how to play when I was about 13, and yeah, the baritone ukulele is very interesting. It's a very interesting instrument to play because it's completely different tuning than a regular ukulele, and eventually we're going to get this one started on the baritone ukulele.
I only know 2
Eventually.
chords, guys.
On the regular ukulele, 2 chords on the regular ukulele.
Actually,
but
I
By the
think I
way,
know
this
3.
is a
if
fake
you know
plant.
2 chords on
We're not
the
killing
regular
the plant.
ukulele, you
Fake.
also know 2
I
chords on the
stole it
baritone
from
because
the
they're
main
just different
It looks
tunings.
so real.
Nate, you're gonna get us canceled.
Canceling,
Stealing a fake plant.
My tum tum hurts.
You can't say steal. He did not actually steal it, guys. Okay.
I took it from the thing next door.
It's
He had
Do they have food in
permission.
there? I'm so hungry.
ha.
Nunu's always hungry.
Hungry, hungry hippo.
She's a big bag.
I'm gonna put that
So-
in there.
Is my back wide?
I'm putting that in there.
I don't want to see.
The normies in our group versus the emos. I've just noticed how we're sitting. We're sitting normies
Oh.
versus emos. And so that's just kind of interesting.
We are
Very interesting. We are the emos of the group.
No, he's part of them. He's a weirdo also. I mean, I'm not calling y'all weird.
That sounded
You're
like
calling
it
them
sounded
weird.
like you were calling us weird.
I'm not weird.
Guys,
They came
I'm
out
drinking
wrong, I'm
a lot
sorry,
of drink
sorry.
because my vocal cords are fried. Not
Look,
something.
okay.
Let me just.
First of all, the fit. I got my Converse, my Radical Converse.
I got my white
the
dirty
fit.
socks
I got my
on.
Skillet T-shirt. I
I
got
got my Yahweh.
cross
Jesus.
necklaces, my Skillet and 7-Day Slumber
By
wristbands.
the way, they
and then
wear
I got
this
this
every
bright
Sunday.
bright pink
Nate has another hole in his
Knock
socks
off
because he's
Stanley.
so
Guys.
holy. He has holy
I got
socks.
the original
Guys.
thing and it's kind of emo.
Shut up.
knockoff Stanley. It was $1.04.
I have something I want to add.
I got holy socks, bro.
Because he's so holy. All of
Yo,
his socks are holy.
Most of my socks in my sock drawer have holes. in them.
Please throw them
Like
away.
they're not my socks.
Dude.
Like if
I'm putting
anybody
that-
sees
I'm
a hole in
putting
my
that
sock,
in.
they know it's
Dude,
mine.
I
I'm putting that
literally,
in.
I don't
I know
even
it's
buy
my
the
sock.
funky colored socks anymore because I end up losing them. So all of my socks are just plain black, the exact same brand, the exact same length, so that way I always have a matching
These are
pair of
Andy
socks.
ones.
Socks.
Socks.
Socks and sandals.
Socks. My brother wears socks and sandals a lot.
That's
I'm talking
that's
to you,
horrifying.
Jackson, if you're watching.
That's
Jackson, if you're
Jackson!
watching, he's calling you out.
If y'all don't know who Jackson is,
That's
he
weird.
is our former children's pastor,
children's
and
pastor.
she's
And
our
this
new
is
children's
the
pastor.
this is
That's
the
the new
amazing
one.
one.
I'm the new and
They're both
improved.
amazing.
I'm Jackson
That's
And
2.0.
we are her minions. We are her interns
Okay, don't
I am
make it
in
sound
children's
like that.
ministry.
I'm Jackson 2.0.
We are
I'm
not
the
that
cooler
weird, I
version.
promise. Okay, no.
And you also prayed for my dad's belly so many times.
And look, God has
What?
blessed him to slim
Yeah.
down.
We are not fixing to skim over that one. Can you please elaborate?
Okay, so me and Nunu, we grew up together, right? Like she was always in children's church. I was on children's church because
Amen,
I'm a
amen,
PK.
amen, Church,
Yeah.
church, amen.
Yeah. And when my dad would ask for a prayer request, she would always be like, "Your belly." I'm like, "Why?" And she never told me till about maybe 10 years later. He started losing weight, and it actually started working.
Because prayer, it might not work when you want it to work, but God will always
It
have
takes-
that plan
yeah.
set for you.
Guys,
It
we're
takes
not
time
being
for
mean,
what
okay?
That's an
So-
example.
This is kind of a lesson that you just said. It reminded me of, like, if you pray over something, like if you went through something horrible or you really need prayer over somebody, you might pray it every day and something bad happened and you never get it, and then maybe a long time down the road it starts happening. Like, you know what I mean? You know what
It
I'm
can
getting at?
be years and years later,
Yeah.
but he will answer your prayers.
It is
If it's
all
in his will.
timing. It
It's
is-
just his timing. Like, if you want that thing to happen, you're just gonna have to wait for what God's gotta.
You gotta
It's
wait
not
on
gonna-
his will.
It's not
just
going to work
yeah.
when you want it to work. It's
Yeah.
God's plan, and it's what He wants to work for you and what's right for
And
you.
there might be things. You might see your friends getting all of their prayers answered, getting everything that they ever wanted. You might see your family getting everything that they ever wanted, and you're wondering, why isn't God doing that for me? You are
Just
not them.
wait.
You are
Just
not
wait.
them. Your life is different. He has a different plan for you than he does for your neighbor, than he does for your sister, for your brother. He has a different plan for you. You are a unique individual in his eyes. He knows you by name, and he has a plan specifically for you that is unlike anybody else's. So it is all in his timing and all in what he has planned for your life. And sometimes being patient and waiting for that is really difficult. It is really difficult. But you just gotta hang in there, you know?
Gotta hang in there, y'all. He always answers, even if the answer is no. So, either way, your prayer will get answered, and it's all in God's will. You just gotta trust Him.
Yes, absolutely.
So guys, I want to promote our Instagram that I am over and Zoe is over the YouTube.
I'm the editor. Hey guys.
So
Yes.
anything you see on Instagram is probably me, and anything you
Unless
get
I
on
hack it.
YouTube
No, I'm kidding.
is probably Zoe. We have an Instagram called the Refuge Worship Podcast, just like the YouTube, but it's on Instagram.
Yeah!
We're gonna
And-
be posting reels on there as well, and on YouTube Shorts. So make
Yeah.
sure you subscribe.
We'll
and
be
follow.
posting little like snippets of what we talk about on the podcast on our reels and stuff like that.
And maybe bloopers.
Yes, there will be bloopers
We have
that
plenty
we
of
probably
bloopers.
shouldn't release, but we are anyway.
I will also be keeping up with you guys in the community tab, which you can find right here on our channel if you subscribe. So definitely subscribe and follow our Instagram, which also will be linked in the description. It's also in our bio, so
Yes.
you can find it.
Yeah.
I'm
If
watching
you're
you.
looking, you can find it. If you seek, ye shall find. Thank
I
you.
am watching you.
Alright, well,
That's kind
you
of
got
creepy.
anything else, or is that it?
That's it for our introductory episode, I guess.
Thank you for watching
The Refuge.
Youth,
Worship.
Podcast.
Woo.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Hopefully
Bye.
next week.
Yes.
Bye.